Welcome to the Good Enough Lap Guide and the Ford Mustang GT4, your lap guide to move up through the splits. The purpose of this lap guide is to give you a clear, focused foundation that you can build on top of to move up through the splits. If you start to get within 2 seconds of this lap time, a second of this lap time, you're going to be able to win those lower split races, move up through the splits, and eventually get in the top split. And if you can get within 1 second, you're going to be running mid-pack with a chance to win the race if it's a lower strength of field or if the leaders have some trouble. First, I wanted to talk about the track characteristics of Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the Roval 2025 edition. I believe this is the first time this has been out for anybody to drive this variant. I do find turn 7 to be the trickiest corner all the way around the track. You just really need to be patient, let the car rotate through the corner. Turns 1 and 2, you treat that as one single corner. Same with turns 3 and 4, treat that as a single corner. Turn 5 is probably my favorite corner on the track because you can just hammer down through there. It's a lot of fun. You do need to lift a little bit, but it's the most sporting corner, in my opinion. And then you have the 2 chicanes, which you're much better off going in slow and coming out fast than trying to go in fast and then you're just going to come out slow. Next, we'll talk about the car characteristics of the Mustang GT4. It's the first race that's out, first season that's out, so we're all getting used to the car. So far, I can tell you just don't want to overdrive the car. It doesn't have a lot of aero grip. It's mostly a mechanical grip car. The tires are really cold. iRacing made a concerted effort to slow the cars down in the corner overall for GT4s and make them faster in the straightaways. So you're just going to have less mid-corner grip. The fixed setup itself, it understeers on entry, middle. If you don't overdo it on entry and middle, it is kind of neutral on exit. It doesn't quite have like the rotation on exit on throttle like the BMW M2. But it is drivable out of the corner. You just really don't want to overcook the entry in the middle of the corner. It takes a lot of patience. For example, here 3 and 4, you're off throttle, letting the car rotate through the corner, do its thing for a long time before you get back on the throttle. So you got to be really patient with the car. Be careful when it's on cold tires. The thing will just spin out on you if you get on the throttle. It'll even lure you into a false sense of confidence. The tires are up to temp. I would give it at least 3 laps before you really start pushing the car. The weather for this lap time was 71 degrees Fahrenheit or 21.6 degrees Celsius. The track temp was 101 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius, and the lap time was a 125.906. All right, let's get into the lap. For turn 1, your braking zone is going to be at the end of the red stripes there, getting close to the 2 marker. As we're heading into turn 1, it'll be a middle late apex. Don't touch the blue curb. It'll get the car to start bouncing. There are some bumps on exit as well, so if you get the car bouncing, it just kind of becomes a handful on exit. So just don't touch the blue curb. Like I said in the intro, you want to treat turns 1 and 2 as one big long arcing corner. The top of the arc is going to be where these 2 walls meet out here, and then you'll begin your turn in for turn 2. You're going to get as close to this wall as you can with the apex being right at the end of the wall. Your braking point for turn 3 is going to be where this little access road is on the left. And for the corner, it'll be a late apex. I don't want to say you want to overdrive the corner, but I do treat this corner a lot like the MX-5, where you want to have a good enough momentum and almost take advantage of the pushiness to kind of push you out to the top of the arc we're going to see here in a minute. So you have enough momentum and you just time it just right so you have enough momentum, the car slows down enough to start rotating back through the corner once you get to the top of the arc. So here we are, the car is kind of pushing out. We're going to get to the top of the arc. We're going to be patient. You have to be really patient here. And then we're going to start aiming for a late apex going out of turn 4. That late apex is going to allow you to carry the most speed through this straightaway coming up. Now we come up to my favorite corner of the track because you can really just take this almost flat out. You do have to crack the throttle a little bit just to let the car rotate, and then just aim for that late apex and you get back on the throttle. For turn 6, your braking point is going to be as you're coming to the crest of the hill. And as we come up over the hill, we'll start to see our target for the apex for turn 6, which is going to be a late apex as the curb's ending. And then once we hit our apex, we're going to want to hug this blue and white line on the inside so we can get the best turn into turn 7. Now you want to be conservative with your braking here. If you push it too much, you're just going to go wide. These front tires have no grip. You're just going to lose so much time. So your braking point is where the curb ends on the left. This is a really tough corner, toughest corner on the track. You got to stay out wide, cut in at the last minute, and then you're going to get a middle apex. Look in the corner, the top left corner here. That's where you're going to see where your apex is, because we can't even see the apex because of this A-pillar. But you want to hit your apex just after the blue curb on the left. And then as we're coming out of the corner, you want to start getting on the throttle when you see the Coca-Cola sign, and then you really want to hammer down once you see the Charlotte sign. You just need a lot of patience here on exit. You really want to work on nailing that corner because it leads up to one of the better passing opportunities going into the first chicane. Now as we're heading into the first chicane, you just want to remember slow in, fast out. And as we approach the braking point, it's going to be at the 5 marker. As we turn into the corner, we're going to hop the curb pretty aggressively here so we can get the best line going into the next corner. I do find for turn 11, it does help rotate the car a little bit if you get a little bit of the blue curb here. Now if you did that right, slow in, fast out, you'll have a nice tight line going through this part of the chicane. If you did it wrong, you're going to push out wide. It's going to destroy your exit speed as we get onto the oval 3 and 4, which is a good opportunity to pass. So you really want to have this nice tight line so you can get on the throttle nice and early and get the best run out of the corner. And as you're coming off the banking, your braking point is going to be right at the entrance of pit road. Just be cautious because there is a little bit of gradient change from the banking to the flat, so it can pull your car to the inside a little bit more, but once you get used to it, you should be able to use that to your advantage so you can hug this blue and white line on entry into turn 14. Your turn in for the corner will be as the blue and white line starts to break to the left. And as we're headed into the corner, you can cut this corner a lot. Just make sure some part of your left side tires are on the red curb. Otherwise, you'll get a slowdown penalty. And for the last corner, if you can avoid going over the blue curb, do so, because it's just, you can get the throttle down sooner. But it is really hard to get that perfect line in the first part of the chicane to get that good line going out of the chicane. But if you have to go over the blue curb like I do this lap, you can. And that's your good enough lap guide, the Mustang GT4 at the Charlotte Roval 2025 edition. If you guys liked the video, found it helpful, please hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. I'll be doing these all season, so subscribe to catch the next one when it comes out. And I'm also doing live streams every Friday night at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Love to see you there, and I'll catch you in the next one.